going on, guys? King Strats here, back another video on the channel. And today, this was another requested store, Stew Leonards, located in Paramus, New Jersey. I know that this is a franchise. I went there to get the hot food, but when I walked in, by the time I got to the hot food, it was already closed. It closed at 7. I got there at like 6:55 and there was no food. So I had to get just the ready-mades and I'll spin back to go and try the hot food. I have so much food. I spent $150 on all this food. They have like, I'll show you. I'm in Stew Leonard's right now, and the most random thing in the world, but just in case you were wondering, 50 Cent is coming to Stew Leonard's. Like, bro. They said this is a big rich town. But some of the stuff on here looks like Five Nights at Freddy. There's animatronics all over the place. There's little buttons. You press the buttons, they sing. I didn't want to press none of the buttons. But I got a bunch of food. Again, $150 worth of food. Everything looks good, but I wanted to try the hot food, so I'm kind of let down. Also, I'm going to throw these back in the fridge, but I got some handmade ice cream, freshly prepared cookies and cream, and some carrot cake. Last thing before I start, some of this stuff I did take out of their containers. Like, this comes 4 in a pack, and these came with like 20, but it wouldn't make sense to have 20 here that I'm not going to eat, just because nothing would fit in the screen if I didn't do it. But let's start off with these Chicago deep dish pizza. You get 3 in a pack. It costs $12.99. These went in the oven for $350 at 15 to 20 minutes. It says Chicago deep dish, but it looks like it's more from Cleveland. But we're going to try everything. No. No. Look at this booty. No. I've had the Red Baron. Have you ever had the Red Baron deep dish pizza? It tastes almost identical to this. Like, that's scary. The cheese, the sauce, like, identical. Even the crust. If you told me this was a Red Baron, I believe you. If I was grading this on a Red Baron scale, I'd probably give it an 8. But to pay $12 for 3 of these frozen tasting pizzas when they're in the fresh pizza section, that's really a letdown for that. There's not much to say about that other than save your money. I would give that a 3 out of 10. Again, if it was a Red Baron, I think is good, but not for that. No way. I don't even want to see those. Like, I would just get a Red Baron if you want one of those pizzas. I'm going to do the mac and cheese. The mac and cheese costs $4, and out comes this in the oven for 30 minutes. It looks creamy from what I saw. But again, I have a much better indicator of what I'm looking for after this is like my 4th kind of these stores. So they had a nice little crispy thing on the top, and the congealedness is to scale, not half bad. So far, the best I've had from this is from Whole Foods. That's not bad. Again, I wouldn't say this is the best mac and cheese I've ever had, but for people who are watching for the first time, I always rate things to scale. I'm only comparing this to other supermarket deli types of mac and cheese. And on that level, this isn't bad. I still think Whole Foods was slightly better, but this is creamy. It has the right consistency, and it has a different, like a 4-cheese blend kind of taste. Whereas when I was at Wegmans, it was just incredibly bland. This has some sort of flavor. Yeah, you could do stuff to it and work with it, and that's kind of where my wheelhouse is of what I'm looking for. So far, this is the second best of the ones that I've had. And I would give it a 7 out of 10. Like, you can do something with this for sure. Now, I tried to get a similar stuff from Possible from each store so that I can compare it. I've done sushi at every one of these stores. So I did get the Chef Special 12. Let me give you that right there. It costs $12.99, and you get 16 pieces of a roll, which really isn't bad at all. Wegmans gave you about half of this, and it cost you $8.99. So relative, it's priced pretty accurately. It looks like salmon and tuna in here. And let me just set this up real quick. I'll try not to take too long, but I'm just gonna, yes, I eat the pickled ginger. Premium soy sauce. Why not? Premium. I like a little bit of premium. All right, let's do it. I like getting stuff like this because I can save this and eat this, whereas some of the other stuff I have to give away, I can keep the sushi, because sushi for me is just fish, rice, and seaweed. But yes, I eat the pickled ginger, and there's a little wasabi on here. This isn't bad. Wegman sushi, Whole Food sushi, noticeably fresher than this. This isn't old tasting at all, but the other one tastes like they just cut it like 10 minutes ago. I went around the same time at each place, and this one just isn't as fresh. You do get pretty good bang for your buck. There's good amount of fish in here for sure, but it doesn't taste as good. Still good, but I'd rather pay either the 15 at Whole Foods for the nigiri I got, or the $8.99 at Wegmans, which was probably the best value so far as taste. But this isn't bad. The other ones are like 8s or 9s, and this is a 7. Still good, but noticeably not as fresh. I wasn't gonna show you guys this, to be honest, because it's not really a meal, but I get stuff like this a lot of times from delis that's just simple proteins. So this is grilled Cajun shrimp, and I like to eat stuff like this off camera just to get my protein in. So I'll have this with like some cauliflower rice and some vegetables. I wasn't gonna show y'all this, but it's grilled and it looks pretty damn good. So I said, why not? This is my first time trying this. I did just heat this up. Yeah. Be careful if you're a person that watches your sodium intake. Like you're not that active, so you can't have a lot of salt. Cajun seasoning is usually salty, but the grill flavor on this and the Cajun seasoning, if I put this in I make a cauliflower stir fry, this is gonna go perfect with that. So for me, if I'm talking about just for that, this is awesome for what I'm looking for. I'll give this a 9 out of 10. I wasn't gonna show y'all this, but the shrimp tastes good. I would put it in anything and eat it. Okay, chicken quesadillas. You get 6 slices like this size. All that's in here is chicken and cheese. They have a cheese version for $8.99. This one was, I believe, $10.99, and then the steak version, most expensive, was $13.99. Comes with salsa to dip in, as well as sour cream. Let's try the first bite just as is. You get a ton of chicken in here. Like a ton. And the chicken tastes fresh. And you get a lot of cheese. This would be awesome if you were doing like a Super Bowl party platter. Did they make this sour cream? Like I said, this is like a farmer's market-esque kind of place where everything is... This sour cream is like... It doesn't taste like the ones that come from a can. It's like noticeably, it's like smooth and creamy. Let's go in here. This is some of like the freshest little salsa cups that I've gotten from doing these so far. Like when I did the Costco version, these were like vacuum sealed kind of, these taste fresh. Like this salsa is kind of like not spicy enough. It's super mild, but it tastes really fresh and it's working. This chicken is just boring, right? But with the salsa, this is the freshest salsa like that looks like this. That's not pico. Like the tomato, that's nice for what you get. About $12 for a little party platter. I can get down with that. Again, the chicken and the cheese is pretty bland, but with the rest of it, it brings it up to about a solid 7.8 out of 10. Wanted to get some Italian food this time, so I got this pasta with broccoli rabe and sausage. I love broccoli rabe. I was going to get originally broccoli rabe until I saw this pasta. It's got some cheese on it, some broccoli rabe, obviously some sausage. I'm a big fan. This is fresh as hell. Look at this. Look how much you get. Like, that's really not bad. I've said this a bunch of times. A lot of people haven't had broccoli rabe. It's pretty regional. Like I've never had it anywhere outside of this area, but it's kind of bitter. And I think it's an acquired taste for a lot of people. Those who love it, love it. Some people don't like it at all. If you love it, it's noticeable how fresh this is with these little chunks of Italian sausage, sweet sausage, not hot. And the pasta's still pretty al dente for a microwavable meal. This costs $10 for this. For the quality, I can see why. Really not bad at all. Would I pick this over like a mom and pop deli? No, but again, for what I'm getting, I like this a lot. This would be tough for me to stop eating. I'll give this a 9. Look at another piece. You don't get good broccoli rabe everywhere. Nice job, man. I might have to keep this. Okay, quick little break. They had a giant shelf of Prime. I know a lot of people are always looking for these. I've had pretty much every flavor. They had them all there, but I never had this Glowberry Prime. They had a whole shelf of this stuff. Prime for me is hit or miss. Some flavors are decent and some suck, if I'm being real. But I've tried them all just because, you know. It's citrusy. It's got a pretty citrusy flavor, kind of like lemonade. If you look at the color, that's kind of what it resembles. It's got a very lemonade-y, citrus-esque taste. This is one of the better flavors. I'm not the hugest fan of Prime. I don't dislike them. I'm not one of those people like, oh, it's trash. It's just not my first choice. I would give this a 6 out of 10. The best rated Prime for me, if I'm rating on a soft drink scale, is like a... I think I gave it an 8. But I never had anything in the high 9s. I'll drink it if you haven't, but I've never gone on my way to drink these, just being honest. Anyway, 2 kinds of appetizers. First one, Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. You get 4 in a pack for the regular one, and it costs $8.99 for it. So this is what it looks like. I don't know what's inside yet, because I haven't bit into it. Funny enough, in the original packet, this came with duck sauce. I'm not putting duck sauce on Philly cheesesteak. Okay. I like the crisp and I like the wrapper. You get a pretty decent amount of the meat in here, from what I can see. But I swear to you, it tastes exactly like a Philly cheesesteak Hot Pocket. Which isn't bad. I'm not saying it's bad. But when I pay for something and it costs that much, I expect a little bit more because I could just get Philly cheesesteak Hot Pockets. Actually, Hot Pockets are pretty much the same price. Right? Unless you find them on sale. Hot Pockets usually like $4 for a pack of 2, and that costs $8 for a pack of 4. It's pretty relative. I guess it's pretty similar. So, they're not bad. I wouldn't get them again, though. Maybe if you threw some ketchup or something on it. But the inside's just very Hot Pocket. And that's not what I want when I get stuff like this. So far. I would give that a 6 out of 10. These are chicken cordon bleu balls. If you... I swear that wasn't... Sorry, give me a second. I sincerely apologize to the people who don't have a 3rd grade sense of humor like I do, but the minute I said chicken cordon bleu balls, I just started laughing. If you don't think it's funny, I don't know what to tell you, but that was funny as hell. I'm just going to leave it like that. I just laughed for a good 2 minutes. But these are... All right, pull it together. These are chicken cordon bleu on the inside of these. I'm done, bro. Damn it! That's what these are. They cost $9.79. That's what they look like. For those who don't know what chicken cordon bleu is, basically it is a breaded chicken patty with ham and usually Swiss cheese. I've seen variations, but most of them use like some form of Swiss cheese. So that's what should be inside of here when I bite it. Yeah. It's not a great version of it, though. I thought it would be different. I've had some pretty good chicken cordon bleu. The problem with this one is, when you get, like, ham, some ham is way too salty to use in chicken cordon bleu, and that's what I'm running into in here. You can see there's a good amount of ham on the inside, but it's super salty. And then when you mix that with the cheese and the rest of this, I just don't think this would be enjoyable. I'll tell you what, if I ate this, like, whatever, it almost tastes like a cheese hot dog. I would put mustard on this, and it'd probably work. But as is, I would give that a 4 out of 10. You can definitely work with them. Just understand, if you know what I'm talking about with chicken cordon bleu, that is a much saltier version. Like, I need a drink right now. I'm not even joking. And last we got, this is the North Jersey specialty, we got the sausage and peppers. That's how every, like, old school Italian dude that I grew up with would say it. It's always sausage and peppers. Right? So, sausage and peppers is exactly what it sounds like. You can get it in a red sauce. Some people don't do it in a red sauce, but it's literally just, you cut peppers up, you cut sauces up, and a lot of times, people will just bake it off. I'm going to guess at this place that you're going to get a good quality kind of meat in this one, though. Shut up, bro. I can't say anything without having an AO in the comments. Sausage. This kind of sauce. That's not bad. I prefer my sausage and peppers with hot. This is sweet Italian sausage. Usually people do it with sweet and hot. This one just has a sweet. I don't know if maybe I could do a sausage shuffle and see. The marinara is okay. It's pretty fresh tasting. I think they need to add a little bit more like either oil or, but again, it's store-bought. It's probably the one they have in their jars. Nah, it's all sweet. So, I think a lot of people will really like this though. I prefer it with hot. I like this, but if it was with hot, I would love it even more. Serve this, if you get like a nice quality bread, soak it up, or some people do it with pasta. My favorite is though with bread. I make a nice sandwich. Jesus. I just took it back to 1998. I make a nice sandwich with this, and nah, I'm good with it. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. It's not as good as like somebody's homemade, but again, it's from a deli. Like, I don't have a problem with it. This is New Jersey, man. Like, if it was crap, it wouldn't sell. Okay, so we got a bunch of desserts here that I want to try. I'm gonna start off with this, even though it's not technically dessert. I saw this when I was walking. I love strawberry milk, and this is like fresh strawberry milk, and it's $7.99 in a glass bottle. I'm like, there's no way I'm not trying this. I hope it's as good as it says. It says on the thing that you can't get milk fresher than this. Like, no joke. It says you'd have to own a cow to make it fresher. And it really does look quality. Now, again, I don't really drink whole milk. I drink skim, but in this case, I hope this is good because I love, like, strawberry quick. Cheers, bro. Whew. That's good. Oh, that's good. I would go back to Stew Leonards just to get this. No joke. 9.5. Like, can you rate milk? But oh, that's dangerous, man. That's tasty. It's the perfect sweetness too. Yeah, that's right on the money. Okay, we got a fresh pack of glazed donuts. Bros Glazing Donuts. This costs $3, and these donuts are massive. Like, massive. Super airy, really light, good amount of glazing. Shut up. It tastes fresh as hell. If you warm this up, you would easily eat the whole box. They do come in dozens too. But damn, that is really good. It's one of the better donuts I've eaten in this area. Like, that includes donut stores that are glazed. All right, stop. Stop it. Stop. Easy. 9.4 out of 10. For donut. Or glazed donut. Also got these apple cider donut holes, right? They had regular apple cider donuts, but I figured I'd try the donut holes just as like a switch up. So, again, these are large compared to like munchkins that you get from Dunkin' Donuts, but did they put something in here? I don't know. Their donuts are ridiculous. Even this, it's so light, not stale at all. And this is from like just like the bakery section. Like, these aren't super fresh. It doesn't tell you when it was. It says enjoy by Valentine's Day. Wow. Apple cider flavor all throughout the donut. And then there's like a sugar on the top. Yo, their donuts are crazy good. Wow. Some of the best donuts I've had around here. Again, easy 9.4. I can't believe how good that is. I don't know why I do this to myself every time, but I did get a carrot cake. This is $3.99, freshly baked carrot cake slice. the ratio looked better, and it didn't resemble fruitcake, which is like the one at Wegmans. So I wanted to try this. Can I open the damn thing? I want to try this one. Please don't be bad. I do see a raisin already, which is not a good sign. But, all right, here we go. About time. This isn't the best carrot cake I've ever had, but it's about time I've had one that's actually like really good. I do think that the cream cheese frosting needs a little bit of something to it. Again, most places like this have really good bakeries. The cake is really fresh. It's really light. It's not too cakey, which is really weird to say. Fluffy. The frosting, good consistency. The cream cheese flavor is a little dull, though. Like, almost like they needed to add a little bit more sugar to the frosting. But as far as the quality of the cake, very good quality cake. $4 for this slice. The one at Wegmans was twice the price of this, and this one's way better. I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10. We have cookies and cream ice cream. They make this on premise, right? And they said they hand pack this. So this pint costs $3.50. They didn't have a lot of good flavors. They were pretty basic, chocolate, vanilla. The best one that sounded to me was this cookies and cream. This is my first time looking at this bad boy. This looks like when you get them from the, oh yeah, this is, look at the, like 100% that they made this themselves. Like real Oreo pieces. You can tell they're actually Oreos because I can see the Oreo writing on this. The ice cream quality looks decent. For $3.99, this might be a dub. Yeah. There's such a difference when you get like ice cream like this as opposed to just buying it, you know, from the frozen food section. Now, I know I got this in the freezer section, but it's only like a day old. And they do have an ice cream parlor there that you can get fresh soft serve as well, that they're making it. So that's this same one, and it tastes like it. Even if this was vanilla, it would be just better ice cream, which it pretty much is vanilla. It just has, I don't know if it's all three here. It is on the top though. Just Oreo chunks. And again, I can see the writing on it. They're not fake Oreos. They're actually Oreos. This is just a good ice cream. There's nothing special about it, but the quality brings it up. Like if you only had, you know, like Turkey Hill, no disrespect Turkey Hill because I eat it, but there's a noticeable difference in quality. And because of that, this gets an 8.5 out of 10. This is nice. The real star of the show for me, this donuts and this freaking milk is crazy good. Like, crazy good. Okay, normally I'm not big on the gossip topics, but this came up in my stream yesterday, and I've been talking about it with so many of my friends today. I'm usually not like I feel like I'm gossiping, but it don't matter. I want to talk about some tea today. So if you aren't familiar, I'm not like this, bro. It is what it is. There is a woman who is like got popular doing a podcast. She did it with Drake, goes by the name of Bobby Altoff. If you guys don't know, she was a TikToker at first that was doing basically mom talk type of stuff, you know, because she got pregnant, she had kids, she was talking about more like nursing and, you know, her family and family life. And that was her thing in the beginning. Somehow that was parlayed from that. I know people talk about this whole industry plant thing. I'm not going there because, look, we can't prove it. It doesn't matter. Anyway, somehow that was parlayed into a podcast with a guy that goes by the name of Funny Marco, who does this certain type of podcast. That podcast went viral. She ended up being a podcaster after that. Her podcasting blew up, and she's doing podcasts with Drake. I've seen one with Tyga. I've seen one with Offset. I've seen Jessica Alba. Anyway, she just filed for divorce yesterday. Well, her husband filed for divorce yesterday. They have been separated since July of 2023, and I'm not a gossip queen, but he filed his date of separation as July of 2023, which is around and about the same exact time as she did the podcast with Drake. And this is all going to tie in for a second because I've been saying this on stream and on here for a long time. And this is something that I just still believe is true. It is a perfect example of it in two things. Number one, when there is a huge balance of power shift in a relationship, it's usually not going to last. it's even less likely to last if that balance of power goes to the woman. And I'm not saying that women can't do things and are not better than men, but what I am saying, and I've said this before, that if you are a woman and you make significantly more money or feel like you are at a better, significant more status than your man, there's a high probability that you're not going to respect him and or just even listen to him at that point, because you're like, why do I have to listen to you? You ain't nobody. So what I think that happened in this category, and I can go into the tea and some people saying that she might have done something physical with Drake. Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. But this I do know. She went from being someone who was making good money, as her husband was when they first met. I believe from what I've read, they met on Bumble. And from Bumble, he is like an engineer or software developer or something like that. Those guys aren't broke. They make good money. So they were both making good money because she was probably making good money off brand deals, TikTok. I understand how social media works, but she wasn't making the money she is now. Podcast with Drake money is a whole different ballgame. So if you went and probably tripled your income overnight, but not only your income, but your social circle. So all of a sudden, when you're dating a dude who, he's a normal guy, he's regular, you're all of a sudden running in circles that ain't regular, and you have not regular money, I don't really think it was going to last after that, and the writing was on the wall. There's a very high probability that now, if your husband says, I don't feel comfortable with you doing this, or I'm not doing this, you're going to do it anyway. The usual thing that I see, again, is that when you're dating somebody as a woman, because it matters how much income your husband makes. People can lie all they want to and say that it doesn't, and say that, oh, I would date a guy who didn't make any money or didn't make near money. The large majority of women would not date a guy or want to date a guy who wasn't at least in their tax bracket. Not saying he has to make more money than you, but it's got to be in the same ballpark. So if you're making $100,000 a year, again, not impossible, but improbable that you would want to date a guy who made $30,000 a year. Or so on and so forth. It's just rare because that usually matters. In this case, in the relationship, all of a sudden it went like this, and she probably just looked at him like he's just regular. So the writing was on the wall when it comes to that, which kind of sucks, but it just proves the point of what I was saying with that. We don't know the intricacies, but I've seen plenty of relationships, ladies, you can stop me if I'm wrong, where a lot of women who have broken up with dudes have said this: I outgrew him. You don't really hear that coming from men. Does it happen? Yes, but I've heard it a lot from women. When you have a certain level of ambition or something that you want, if your husband or boyfriend does not match your ambition or hustle, you don't look at him the same. You want to look up to the guy that you're with. You want to feel like he matches your stuff. Guys don't usually care about that part of the relationship. Not saying it doesn't happen, but it's rare. So in this case, I just think that's what happened. From what I heard, it was her daughter or her kid, I'm not sure what kid, but it was her kid's birthday when she went to do the podcast. Great. That shows you how important that podcast probably was, because I know that it would be really, really hard for me, and I don't have kids, but it would take something really, really important for me to not be there for my young kid's birthday. And in this case, that's just what it was deemed. Neither here nor there. The second part has to do with the infidelity part. Now, this I'm speculating. I don't know if it's true, because none of us were there. But there's an overwhelming, large rumor mill majority thing that something happened between her and Drake. Imagine being married to somebody. I played this scenario for so many people today, but I'm going to play it for y'all. Imagine being married to somebody who was your equal and you were chilling and she had her thing and she was doing her TikToks, or he, if you had a husband, right? And within like a shift of a month, you went from doing those sorts of TikToks to ending up doing a podcast when you're in bed, literally, watch the podcast, in bed with Drake. They're in the bed together. Would you be okay with your husband or wife being in bed? Like, imagine as a dude, your girlfriend all of a sudden ended up doing a podcast in bed with Drake. Like, just out of nowhere. Like, it wasn't a part of her job when you met her. It just happened. And now you're sitting there like, bro, am I really watching this? And in said podcast, she says, am I your type? And he says, yeah, I'd do it. That happened. I'm not speculating. That's a thing. Would you be okay with that? Now, ladies, let me paint this picture. Imagine, hypothetically speaking, you and me were an item and I was making YouTube videos like this. And then like a week later, you saw me in a podcast with like Megan Thee Stallion where we're sitting in bed together doing a podcast. And she's like, do you want me? Ow. And I'm like, yep. Am I coming home? Y'all just gonna let me back in the house? I doubt it. Now here's the caveat. All right? Let me fix my beanie for this because I gotta go in. A little milk. That's not the reality for most men. For most women, you can be a regular person like Bobby and end up in Drake's bed. There's no chance that I ever end up in Megan Thee Stallion's bed. None. You'll never have. She don't want my crusty ass. I can tell you that right now. It'll never happen because I'm regular. Dudes that are well off will mess with regular. When he met her, she was regular. She ain't no more by industry standards, but she was at the time. Women in her status, women in that status, women in Megan Thee Stallion status, they don't want nothing to do with my regular self. It's just not going to happen. So we don't even have to worry about that. Now, I'm not saying your wife's going to go mess with Drake. What I'm saying is if Drake calls your wife, she might pick the phone up, though. And that's the reality. And I said that with a British accent in it. That's the reality of it. So sometimes women don't really understand that. And I know it sucks because you're like, oh, don't you trust me? I'm sure he trusted her too. But when you start dealing with something that's way out of your league in your head, where you as a woman have a celebrity crush and your celebrity crush talks to you, you start, because temptation is only a thing when you actually want to do it. And I think people don't understand that. You can't tell me that you're resisting temptation if every person that hits on you, you don't even think they're attractive. Temptation is when you're like, wow, if I wasn't married, I would want to be with that person. I'm tempted. That person says, I want to be with you. And you're thinking about it. But what stops you is your discipline. So most of us have never truly been tempted like that. Like we've been that settled, but most people have never really been tempted by somebody that you really want and then you don't do it. Right? If you put pickles in front of me and I was hungry, I wouldn't want to eat them. But if you put, a slice of pizza that I liked in front of me, I'd be tempted to eat it. You understand the difference? And some people don't really get that. We never really been tempted. Like, I'm just going to leave it at that. But she got tempted and I think she just folded. In that case and in this case, he was the one that filed for divorce. Around the same time, look, it is what it is. I'm not really a gossip person, but this one got me because it hurt my soul. It really did, because that's got to suck if you're in a relationship. And I'm not saying that dudes don't do the same thing too, because they do. A lot of dudes that'll be with somebody when the dude is regular and they got a wife that's regular. When I say regular, you're not a celebrity, you're not extremely wealthy, like you're not like corny or anything like that. You're just not in that stratosphere of stuff. Like we don't rub elbows with millionaires, and that's what I'm saying. So I'm a regular person. So if I had a regular person and all of a sudden I became, a multi-millionaire overnight, and then imagine you're dating somebody and that's what happens. And all of a sudden they start running in circles with celebrities and extremely attractive women all the time that are throwing yourself at the guy. Like, that's a scary thought. And that's really what happened to him. She went from being just chilling in the crib to now she's with Tiger and she's with Drake, and as a husband, you're just sitting there like, damn. And you like, man, you coming home this weekend? She like, nah, I'm chilling with Tiger. And I'm like, that sucks. That's a nightmare, man. That's where you say, oh, if you're insecure, that she is the epitome of why the insecure, because that's not insecure. It's just, I'm not stupid. That is right there why I'm saying all this. It is the complete, prototype of what actually happens at times. It is what it is. But I just wanted to talk about that, man. That was crazy. I don't really like saying, because that's their business and stuff. And so I don't want to speculate on I don't like talking about stuff like this, but this is one of the few times that you're gonna get me to come up off the couch and talk about it. Stew Leonards, not bad at all. Some of the stuff mid, some of the stuff good, which has been the thing. To me, right now, again, Wegmans is number one. I would give the slight edge to Stew Leonards over Costco because their stuff has a little bit more homemade stuff to it. Costco is comparable, but I think Stew Leonards has a slight edge in the hot food. Costco had really good the desserts and stuff like that. But I think Stew Leonard's Wegmans had the best of both worlds so far. So we'll keep doing these. Trader Joe's is coming. I forgot the other ones is coming. I got a couple more that's coming, but if I can get to them, I can get to them. But I promise y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I'm sorry for talking so much, but we'll be back tomorrow. More content, man. The hand signs, they made it to YouTube.